Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee Connections. My name is Seth Weiner, and I am your Rocktioneer. Gorgeous, cool, chilly day here in Atlanta. If you walked outside this morning, you probably got confused and said, wait a second, it's December again. But it's not. It's spring. I can tell because the birds are like making nests everywhere in my neighborhood here. But as always, that's not why you're here. Why are you here? You're here because today we're talking with Edwin Link, Georgia Lions Lighthouse Foundation. He's the executive director. And over the last 16 years, he's got experience in the nonprofit, human services, education, and youth development sector. Edwin enjoys the process of bringing people together, creating the roadmap, and leading the overarching strategy. Being the director of the Georgia Lions Lighthouse Foundation, he leads the efforts in connecting the uninsured and underinsured Georgians to vision and hearing care. So I'm going to have him talk all about this. He's worked alongside 22 other team members and manages a $7 million budget year over year. So let me go ahead and bring Edwin into the program here. I'm a little rusty, but there we go. And that's it. Hey, how are you?
I'm well. Good morning, Seth. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. I had a little too much coffee this morning. But speaking of coffee, are you a coffee drinker?
I am a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
Of all the vices I keep, that is the one that I maintain.
Okay. You got a coffee mug by chance?
I do indeed. It's right here. This one has been with me for, oh man, I want to say at least 18 years, believe it or not.
And it hasn't broken.
No.
How do you do that?
I don't, quite honestly, I almost don't want to think about it too much because I'm afraid if I do, I'll drop it or something will happen. It's definitely lived through some things, but
Yes.
Otherwise it's my stalwart partner day in day.
All right. I have a coffee mug that's old from a high school band. When I was in high school, 90, I think it was a 95 or 96 mug. So, and that's lasted. The trick to that, probably not using it that often, but it has lasted. It's funny. And then you think, often you think about giving people gifts. You're like, oh, should I give them a coffee mug? And then you think in your head, in your cabinet, you're like, if they're over 40, they probably have more coffee mugs than anyone needs.
I'm telling you, I always accept. The coffee mugs are fine because I use them so often.
All right. Are you dark roast, light roast, medium roast? What are you?
I am a dark roast. I prefer, depending on the size, about half a raw sugar and just one little creamer is pretty much the balance that I look for every day.
And are you more of a home brew, or do you like going to Starbucks, or do you have maybe a favorite local spot?
Yeah, all the above. I actually, way back when I was beginning as an artist and actor, I used to work for Starbucks. So strangely enough, there's an affinity there. But yes, if I can visit local, I'm going to visit local.
All right. Well, I'm going to hand the mic over to you. Please fill everyone in about what you do here. Let's.
Yeah, sure. Well, the Georgia Lions Lighthouse Foundation is quite often a lesser known nonprofit, but we've been around for over 73 years. And we exist, as Seth shared earlier, to connect uninsured and underinsured Georgians to vision care. That's how we started back in 1949. And the vision of our founder was Tom Bingham, who was an Atlantan and himself came into blindness much later in life and saw a need to create an organization that could support Georgians, particularly in preventative care. And we've long existed. The reality is right as of today, there's 1.4 million Georgians uninsured. There's 52 counties in the state of Georgia that have no access to vision care currently. Those two things combined create a pretty bleak picture, but we're happy to be an organization that, by way of mobile clinics, as well as brick and mortar clinics, to provide the preventative care. A little lesser known fact about us too, Seth, that I like sharing with folks is we make glasses. We have over 63,000 different frames in stock, and we have 2 opticians on staff who fabricate the lenses right here at our headquarters in Chamblee, and then we dispense those glasses. A Georgian can come see us for services, get no cost for the vision exam, and can buy a pair of glasses for starting as low as $15. And we know comparatively to the commercial market, that is a tremendous relief to them. And what's most important, though, is that individual is now provided clear vision and can go back and ideally thrive. We also support surgeries. We've supported already and are on place to support over 350 vision surgeries before the end of June, which we're really excited about because those are truly vision-saving surgeries that allow individuals to go back into their life. We recently had a story. One woman came to us and was completely dependent upon her sister to take her places because of some glaucoma that she was experiencing. She, by way of a number of people in our network, found out about our care, and we were able to get her into an ophthalmologist and have that. She's now able to drive. She is now able to go to the grocery store on her own. She still likes spending time with her sister, but the end result is an individual who now is back in their community, thriving and contributing in all the ways we would hope they could and they would want to. So the mission is long and proud. And I'm most excited to share with you a optometry exam clinic. So our mobile vision clinics have all been throughout the entire state, serving Georgians everywhere. But we also recognize that the number of optometrists in the state is not keeping up with the demand. And they are not geographically equitably distributed, meaning doctors are not in many, many different spaces. We wanted to take advantage of newer technologies to ensure that doctors could visit patients where they were and in parts of the states that have no access to doctors. And this week we're launching with the Ben Massell Clinic in downtown Atlanta. They are a fantastic clinic that offers people who need it dental care. They've been a long partner of ours, and we're happy to launch the teleoptometry program with them this week, after which we will be working with federally qualified health clinics throughout the state to offer this services and pilot it over the next year. We have a lot to learn, but I can tell you right now, early projections are that we can more than triple the number of Georgians we serve in a given year with this program.
Wow. Okay. So hold on a second now. To triple. I've got a lot of notes here. So to triple that though, that's a lot of cost. So we're gonna have to talk about where you get that money, because that seems like
absolutely,
that's a lot of growth. So these telehealth clinics, when you first said that, I'm thinking like I can get my vision checked here on the computer from home. Is that what you're saying, or is it? I misunderstand you.
No, So Georgia law would be such that we have to have in-person care. And so what we're doing is we have in our current mobile clinics that work with volunteer doctors, in-person volunteer doctors. They'll go to a site, they'll work with that doctor that day to greet the patients and provide them comprehensive vision exams. The only difference a patient would experience is that now they're still going to work with our clinic staff, but that there will be a live optometrist, a Georgia licensed optometrist on a video screen who's actually operating some of the hardware and the machines that are there. These are cutting edge technology that they can remotely drive, but it is live. It is happening.
So you have a volunteer that's like helping move the stuff, and then the doctor is I gotcha.
Yep, they are at home with their coffee, sitting down behind the screen, but they are actually seeing everything. They're seeing the retinal scans. They're seeing everything live action, so that they can actually talk to the patient, ask them. It's really incredible, because what it's going to do for us, and most importantly for the patient, is provide a quality of care that, one, they deserve, and two, it's going to give us the opportunity to bring, again, doctors into spaces where volunteer doctors are great, but it's hard to talk them into driving 4 hours to see 25, 50 patients.
No, that's incredible. I mean, that's incredible, and it makes a lot of sense. Is there does Lighthouse exist elsewhere?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We're not a consolidated group, meaning there are lighthouses throughout the country. Some do vision, some do hearing, some do multiple cares. It just so happens that our founders named us as the Lighthouse, and we are a separate 501c3. I will say this, though. We actually reach out to many of them and just unofficially have a consortium, if you will. We trade best practices, secrets, and we talk often about what's working in the field.
Oh, that's great. And then, so they exist elsewhere, but then Georgia Lions is its own thing as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. So Tom Bingham, the gentleman I told you about, our founder, was himself a member of the Atlanta Lions Club, of which I'm a member of as well. We're lucky to have partnered with all of the clubs throughout the state of Georgia from our inception to currently now. So they'll volunteer at our clinics. They run our eyeglass recycling center, which is North America's largest eyeglass recycling center, which is located right here in Chamblee. So if any of your listeners and viewers have ever dropped off a pair of glasses at their local hardware store or with their Lions Club, it's coming back to us. We're with volunteers, Lions. We're washing those glasses. We're reading the prescription on them, and then we're distributing them through medical mission trips throughout the entire world. So it's an international impact. We're Georgia focused, but we have international impact by way of that recycling program.
And how many mobile clinics do you guys have at the moment?
Yeah, we're going to do more. That's the good news. So right now we've provided somewhere about 500 different vision exams through our mobile clinics throughout the state. So that ranges anywhere between 50 to 52. What's so wonderful about the teleoptometry program and why it's so needed is we're moving from a place of we could only go to a local community. Once we found a volunteer doctor who could go with us and provide the services, we now have autonomy over that with this new program where we'll be able to just schedule it as long as the resources, our staff and the vans are available to go. And what's even better too is because of the mitigation of time with a volunteer doctor, we're going to go from a place of serving about, on average, anywhere between 7 to 12 patients in a single clinic. We're going to go anywhere from 15 to 25 patients now, which really is just going to give us an economy of scale that we previously did not have.
Yeah. And this just in, I just got a note. It says that you'll be, delivering the glasses by drone. No, I was kidding.
Wait for it. That's next step. We'll see if we can get through Georgia code on that one.
All right. So you've got this great, mission, and you're serving it, and you're growing how you're able to do it. And that's amazing. But how does someone that's uninsured or just not insured enough know to find you all? How are you reaching out to people?
It's through our existing network. It's through the doctors themselves. We find them as our number one referral site. Of course, our website is a great resource to go find out more about us. And then secondly, the Lions and other volunteer organizations that work with us are by far and away our best referral system. A lot of people say we're the best kept secret. The reality is the need is so high that we are teaming up with local charity clinics to really then give the wraparound services that people have in their own communities. We really want to abstain from this whole dropping into a community, providing services and leaving. And so what a local charity clinic allows us to do in providing services, that patient can get a continuity of services beyond vision care or anything else that we provide. And what about the schools? You mentioned what's the statistic on kids? So it's a pretty large one. Exactly. I think it was, and I don't quote me on this, but in Metro Atlanta alone, there's 72,000 young people who are in need, just based on social determinants of health statistics that are in need of a full vision exam. The reality is our organization alone right now, as it stands, could not necessarily meet that need. But we know the need is high among schools. We're so very happy that we provide the full continuum of eye care. So from a basic screening that a volunteer like a Lion does, in Cobb County, we have one of the most active eye screening programs through our Lions Club up there. They screen the kids, which can be done by volunteers with very cool technology. They then refer the kids that need full vision exams to us. We provide them that. And by the way, kids who come into our service, if they need glasses, they get their first pair of glasses is absolutely free. We do not charge them for it. That's a service we're happy to provide.
Incredible. Now, what got you to want to work for this organization and to become the executive director? You mentioned you were a Lion, so were you a Lions Club member before? What's your story and pathway here?
Yeah, I come from a family of Lions, right? My father-in-law and his father were Lions up in North Carolina, so I've always been close to that volunteer and that service mindset. But most interesting, I was recently working for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America national headquarters here in Atlanta. And while I loved the work and the entirety of everything I got to do, I saw a specific need primarily based on basic service and basic health service needs, right? And that I felt that I could be of service in. And so when this opportunity came along, I jumped at it. This is such a critical stopgap. We know that the need for services is only going to grow. Our population is aging, and the number of people living in poverty is growing at an exponential rate. That's just the bad news. And so this organization, the Georgia Lions Lighthouse Foundation, sits at the front line of that in some real basic needs way. The reality is if folks can't get the vision services they need, the obstacles are only going to be that much greater and much more insurmountable. I'm happy to say, though, by way of our services, those obstacles can almost all but be obliterated.
Yes. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. So that's great. All right. Well, let's move on to funding this, because it takes. Well, first of all, you said you jumped at the opportunity. I don't think you jumped. You're a lion. You pounced.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yep, for sure.
But yeah. So funding this, where's the funds coming from? Is it just Lion Club members, or what exactly? How do y'all raise
They
your
are a
funds?
huge constituent base, and of which, of course, we're so thankful for. And I will say this: Lions Club's leaders, who existed well before my time, and in so many ways existed before, they built an endowment, and previous leaders built an endowment. I will say we're one of the lucky nonprofits that we have those investment incomes that help provide some level of operating income. As anyone will tell you, though, we need partners far and wide. So we are able to gather funds, necessary funds to drive our critical mission through grants and foundations. We count on corporate partners, major gifts, and individuals, and of course our Lions clubs throughout the state.
Mm-hmm. And then you do some nifty fundraisers as well. Folks, you can go to lionslighthouse.org and make a donation there. That's lionslighthouse.org. But yeah, you also have some fun fundraisers. I believe you have something running up pretty soon, huh?
We do. This weekend, we'd ask anybody to come join us for the Strides for Sight and Sound. This is our inaugural walk. It is this Saturday, April, and we're doing peer-to-peer fundraising, meaning you can right now Google Strides for Sight and Sound. I promise you'll find it. It's an easy-to-find website. You can create an individual page or create a team page and just reach out to your own network. The great news about this type of walk event, too, is that, of course, we'd love to have you here in Chamblee, Georgia. If you can't make it, if you're somewhere in the southern part of the state, northern, or quite frankly, if you're in Decatur and you can't make it, do not worry. You can still reach out to your friends and family, raise those critical funds, and you can even do a sleep-in if you want. I'm going to let some people off the hook here, Seth, but feel free to celebrate it however you wish. But just the same, it's really that peer-to-peer getting the word out there and helping us raise this.
Yeah. No, that's great. And that's one of the things that definitely a lot of organizations innovated their ways by doing things like that and the peer-to-peer. And because often fundraising isn't just about raising funds, it's about raising awareness and creating new donors. And you do that. Your annual event is, and I have the pleasure of working with you all this year. Yeah. But that annual event, you typically have a lot of folks that are learning about your organization that night, and then you're asking them to open their wallets and give.
That's right.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the Evening in the End Zone is an annual fall event that we host, typically with our friends at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. They are almost always our presenting sponsor. Little known fact about the Georgia Lions Lighthouse Foundation is that Peach Bowl was started as a charity collegiate football game to drive revenue for our cause. It has since professionalized and grown tremendously, as anyone can tell just by looking at it. However, they're still near and dear to us, and they are kindly supporting us. But yeah, every October or thereabouts, we host an event. Last year it was at the College Football Hall of Fame. We're happy again. I can tell you right now. Mark your calendars for October 17th. We'll be hosting it again, where we'll be celebrating the most recently crowned UGA champions, as well as the 1980 UGA football championship team. I can't announce the guests who will be honoring that night just yet, but I promise you their names you'll know and that you'll want to hear from and come celebrate. So for all those UGA fans out there and just college football fans, come out. It's a great cause. We'll celebrate college football, but most importantly, we'll celebrate a good cause in supporting our local Georgians.
Yeah. And, if you have a specialty cocktail, may I suggest one with high C,
Yes.
I can't help it. I haven't been able to release some puns in a minute here,
Yeah, I love that idea.
Well, so again, I want to direct folks to your website, lionslighthouse.org. And is there anything that we didn't cover or hit on that you wanted to bring up?
No, I direct anyone to our website. Please sign up for our newsletter. We happily distribute that quite often. But I promise it's news that'll help inform you about what we're doing and why this critical area of vision care is so absolutely important to us and to Georgians throughout the state.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man. And a former neighbor too. That was
That's
funny
right.
to know that we lived in the same neighborhood but didn't know each other. I am going to be headed out of town this weekend because I am going to be on a nurse cruise. So to get myself ready, I got a stethoscope with a microphone.
Oh my gosh.
So that's how I prepare for things.
I can't even imagine where you found that, Seth.
Oh no, I made it.
Oh,
I found it in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for your time. Before I let you go, is there an organization, an innovator in the Atlanta nonprofit world you'd like to recommend to be right here in your shoes on Coffee Connections?
I would definitely recommend that the Senior Vice President for Programs and Operations at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Atlanta, Lorraine Jackson, come on this show, tell you a little bit about what they're up to and some of the fundraising efforts that they have underway. That'd
be great. Well, thanks so much, folks. We'll be back Thursday. Wow. With Kids Boost. Kids Boost. This is an interesting organization. If you haven't heard of them, they do, and I don't know enough about them yet. So I just know a little bit that they work with kids and the kids get to do fundraising. And it's almost like an accelerator for kids to learn how to fundraise. And we're going to find out all about that and here on Thursday, April 21st. But again, lionslighthouse.org. Edwin, thank you so much. Everyone, we'll see you on Thursday. Have a